Hello, welcome to the theElpyDimension. This is your guide, Elpy. So I'm here with a little quick pepper tasting. Look at these beauties. What we have here is, I'll start with these guys. I did a video of me tasting them before. This is the unstable hybrid, the Black Peach Chupetinho crossed with a Ninfadora. Again, it is an unstable hybrid, and I did taste that before. I will go ahead and link the video. Now, what's interesting about these is that they start out this really dark purple, and actually the lighting that you see on half of this is the process of it ripening. This reddish color, it looks kind of orange now. It is more orange, sort of a reddish orange. That is it, more ripe than not. What's interesting is I grew 4 of these plants. 2 of them did not do well, and that was my fault. And these fruit are actually from the plant that I grew as my single seed challenge. And they dealt with a lot of fuzzy critter pressure, as in groundhogs eating the plants down, and yet they survived. I was surprised and confused, although I know that this is an unstable hybrid, which means that you're not going to get the same plant from every seed. So when I looked them up, I found someone doing a review, and their fruits looked like this, more like a Biquinho type pepper. And my other plant, again, I grew 4, and 4 of them didn't produce any fruit at all. They didn't do well at all. That was my fault. But one of my plants looks like this, and the variegation on the leaves, it's a lighter variegation. And the fruits look like this. Now, I don't have any ripe ones on this one yet. It's taking a lot longer. Again, this plant was eaten in the early stages by a groundhog at least once. So I can't say that it's taking longer to develop ripe fruit, no doubt as a result of that pest pressure. But I don't know, we've got perhaps another week that we can safely assume we won't have frost. So I'm not confident that I'm going to get any ripe fruit off of this plant, but I did go ahead and pick a bunch of unripe fruit because I haven't tried them. Now, several weeks ago, I tried these shaped fruit. I tried one unripe and one that wasn't quite this ripe. And they were hot. They were very hot. Yes, they were very hot. So I started with those to show you. Well, I'm going to just quick tell you what they are, and then we'll taste them. This is the royal black pepper. Now, I'm a little bit insecure about tasting this because it's kind of soft. They start out this really beautiful, super dark black, but actually really more like a really, really, really dark purple. So purple, black, and beautiful plant, dark leaves, and they ripen to a red, but I didn't get any fruit. I have one plant growing in my green stalk and one in a small pot, and the one in the green stalk started to ripen. However, the fruit are also softening. I mean, these were picked several days ago, and I haven't tried this at all yet. Okay, this is the Peach Rush Stripey. I've never grown this before. I've never grown the Chupetinho, Black Peach Chupetinho Ninfadora cross it, nor have I grown the royal black pepper. I've never grown the Rush Stripey. This plant I grew in my green stalk, and my failures My pepper failures in the green stalk are entirely my fault this year. I do believe it's largely due to the fact that my green stalk is unlevel. And I knew that from the beginning, and I said, yeah, okay, we'll fix that. And I didn't, and what I also didn't realize was that the ground on one side, on the lower side, the bricks that the green stalk is sitting on, they're sinking into the ground more, so it's become more and more unlevel. And I know that it's user error because I know people grow peppers successfully in an original green stalk all the time. So that being said, I only got 2 fruits off of this Sugar Rush Stripey plant. And this one, again, all of these were picked several days ago. Today is it is now the 19th of October, 2024. And you can see maybe, this lighting is not the best, but you can sort of kind of see the striping starting to occur in, this is a really, really light peach color, which you can't, it's in this light, what you're seeing, it looks more yellow and it is more peach. And it has become more peach in the last few days. It's remained firm, so I'm not concerned about it spoiling, and I'm hesitant to even taste it tonight because I might want to let it ripen some more. I picked this one. This was I only got 2 fruits off of this plant, and this was the other one. They said we were going to have a freeze the other night. I didn't believe it. I knew we weren't going to, but I just decided to play it safe, and I picked a bunch of fruit. I took some plants, put them in the garage, and we didn't have a freeze, and I don't think we even had a frost. So I might not taste those tonight. Now, we'll save the best for last. These 2 here, this is an unripe pineapple Rocoto, and the Rocotos are of the capsicum pubescens, and I've heard that they are, of all the different types of peppers, they're perhaps one that are more likely to do well in cooler conditions. And they do have, if you go back and see my pepper garden tours, their leaves are fuzzy, which is probably why they're called pubescents. And their flowers are really pretty purple, which is really cool. So they have these cool green fuzzy leaves with purple flowers. That is an unripe fruit. So they're these sort of apple shaped, I think is how I've heard them described, like a small bell pepper. And this is the most ripe one that I had on the fruit. They took a very long time. And as Jimmy Pickles, who is where I bought the seeds from him, he described that these plants vine out, and I definitely, yes, they do vine out, and they do take longer to germinate. So he warned not to expect high yields from these plants. But yeah, so this is the most ripe one I have. I have another one that's sort of half yellow, and this one has actually ripened. It's still firm. Since I harvested it, it's turned more yellowish orange. Now the pineapple Rocoto, I was trying to get an exact Scoville heat unit on these 2, and I could not find one at this time, but they are said to be a medium heat. I'm leaving these guys. I've not tried this other, but I expect them to be the same. This Black Peach Chupetinho Ninfadora is very hot. They were pretty dang hot for me. The Sugar Rush Stripey is a 25 to 50,000 Scoville heat units, so that's pretty hot. Royal Black Pepper is said to be 5 to 30,000 with a median of 17.5 Scoville. And I believe that jalapenos at most get 8 to 10,000. So that brings us to the Zebrange. The Zebrange peppers, they say, are 5 to 10,000 Scoville heat units. So about a jalapeno heat. And the reason they're my highlight is because these are beautiful peppers. I'm sure you would agree. And interestingly enough, I believe it's Jamie Pickles who has a picture of a Sugar Rush Stripey next to a Zebrange, and they have the same sort of striping. I've never grown, in fact, I've never grown any of these peppers here. But I've never grown a striped pepper before at all, and they are just absolutely fabulous and really, I think their shape is really cool. Now what's interesting here is that this is also a Zebrange pepper, and you see that it's a solid red. This one is more ripe than this one. This one is more orange in person, but they are from the same packet of seeds, and they are both Zebrange peppers. Both of them were grown in buckets. I think this one may have been slightly bigger, maybe a gallon bigger, but they were grown in different parts of the garden. This one is in my front back garden, and this one's in my back garden because we kind of ran out of room up here, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and move these to the back garden. It'll be better for them. And so it's interesting because I found that the fruit are bigger on the back garden Zebrange, but they aren't striped at all. They are just a solid color. And these guys are a beautiful stripe. So I want to start with tasting them so that I have a more clear palate. Now, I don't have my tripod with me. I apologize. But I'm going to work something out. So let's start with the biggest and most beautiful of the Zebrange with the striping. Well, the heat was there right from the start. And you see it's not thick-walled, but it's also not really thin. Yeah, wow, the heat hit right away. I've not been, I drink cayenne pepper powder on a regular basis, on a daily basis for acid reflux. But outside of that, it's been many days since I've eaten an actual pepper. Outside of a little delicious Biquinho pepper. Yeah, so the heat hit right away. I've got a mouth and a throat burn. And it was like instantly I had sweet pepper and heat. Yeah. That was less hot. It was pretty good. It's not a really strong sweetness, but it's really nice. It's a really nice, fruity sweetness. With that, of course, as I get closer to the placenta, I'm getting that heat back again, but that first bite, maybe it's just because I haven't had a pepper in a minute, but That first bite was something. Good flavor. Like I said, reminds me of a sweet pepper. It reminds me of a mild Jimmy Nardello. Mild as in, if you don't know, a Jimmy Nardello is a sweet pepper through and through. So I say mild in that Jimmy Nardello is very sweet. And these are sweet, but not very sweet. Yeah, I'd say the heat is a jalapeno. Maybe a mid to high range of a jalapeno. But it's really good. I'm not going to eat all 3 of these. But I will grow this again. 1, because it's beautiful. 2, because I'm curious about the fact that I got 2 different phenotypes. And 3, the most important part is they're pretty dang good, because with them being the heat of a jalapeno, I mean, they're not as big as a jalapeno, but I could imagine making like small jalapeno bites. The shape is really cool. And with that little bit of fruity flavor, I think that would be really, really delicious. So these I found, here's another one that I have in my pepper bowl. None of these, maybe one. I had a couple that had holes in them from bugs that I pulled off the plant that were mostly ripe. They're going to be going to the worms. But none of the others were ripe. So I found that these ripen off the plant nicely. Same here. This one had started to ripen, but they ripened quite nicely. Okay, so my lips are burning. Let's drink. I know water. I'm going to get something fuzzy. Okay, so I don't usually drink soda, pop. I say pop, but whatever. But I figured I should instead of water. Okay, so we're going to be saving these seeds. These guys were most likely going to freeze. Let's try. Now, remember, this is from the same seeds. This is a Zebrange pepper. No striping, solid red, and almost all the fruit on this plant. I don't think I had any fruit from that plant that were this big. So, let's see. Much more sweet. These red ones, wow. It's not as hot either. I mean, it's not a surprise that I haven't eaten an actual hot pepper in many days. So my first bite of a hot pepper is going to be more sensitive. However, with that being said, like, my lips are still burning. The back of my throat is burning. The back of my throat more than my mouth. But there's no abrupt... I know there's a weird seed there. I don't see any other, I'm not going to worry about it. In terms of I've bitten into a pepper where I'm like, oh my God, I spit out the pepper, because I totally understand why Johnny Scoville cuts his open and looks at the inside before he eats them. But I'm one-handed and I'm taking my chances. So this is really delicious. It's a lot fruitier. It's sweeter than the stripy ones, and it's not as hot. This is an absolute winner. Well, the stripy one was too. I'm just really impressed with the sweetness. By the way, when I have a mixed plate like this, and I say I'm going to save seeds, I won't save any seeds that aren't attached to the placenta, because I know that, like, that just fell off of this one, right? So if it's not on here, it doesn't get saved. And plus I have all these other seeds to save from, but in some cases I've eaten peppers, and if that's the only pepper I have, then that's my only. And you see that this is a significantly bigger pepper, but it also has way more seeds. Right? Way more seeds. Yeah, so much sweeter, much fruitier, and I would say significantly less hot, the non-stripy version. Now, these ones, the stripy ones, were grown amongst all of these other peppers. This one, the solid colored Zebrange, was grown by my tomatoes. The only pepper that was nearest, I mean, so they're probably about 20 to 30 feet away from each other. The only pepper that was near this one was a St. Lucia. In fact, I almost forgot that I had picked those 3 off of there. Yeah, so definite win, both of these. But this one has a sweeter flavor. This one is hotter. Okay, so I think I am going to wait on these Sugar Rush Stripeys. I want to see if that one ripens more. Now I have tasted this Chupetinho Ninfadora before. It wasn't quite as ripe, I think, but maybe we'll give it another shot. But let's go ahead with these Chupetinho Ninfadora, the other expression, right? These aren't ripe at all. Nope, they aren't, but... Oh. I don't like that at all. Yucky. Aw. It would serve its culinary purpose, I'm sure. Bitterness right away. Heat and bitter. Hot and bitter. Very floral. Very bitter floral. Not sweet at all. Tip of the tongue. Stinging like crazy. Back of the throat. Burn and sting. These guys, like I said, have more of a jalapeno heat. Oh, this is a sting. Oh my goodness. That's right. Go back and see my my short. I paused so I could get another paper towel. Yeah, it's just the tip of my tongue. Wow, I forgot that these are creepers. Okay, well, I've never had that shape. That one, oh man, that's a creeper. So that's a stinging burn. Bitter floral. I want to say, I think, because I ate this one unripe too, I think the one I ate of this one was completely unripe. I want to say it had a little bit of fruitiness to it. And that's just straight bitter. It would do its job to add heat to something, especially being this small. Right, so you could do a lot in terms of heat with this little pepper, but oh, the flavor is not there at all. Oh, Lord. I don't need to eat the second one. I don't even want to try one of these again. Let me cleanse my palate. Okay, so I cleanse my palate with 7-Up. Works all right. Let's try the royal black pepper, completely unripe. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Oh, and by letting me know if you could hit that little thumbs up or the thumbs down. It helps the channel out. And yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate you. Be safe, be well. Bye for now.